I'm about to give you all the information that I needed when I hit the road 6+ years ago. The very first, most useful tool that I have found when I hit the road is iOverlander. If you've never heard of iOverlander before, it's an app that shows you camp spots, places to sleep that are in cities, water fill-ups, and can go on and on. It shows you where everything's at. I mostly used it for camp spots, majorly in the wild and out in the west. Now, out west, you have a tremendous amount of public land and national forest where you can go and camp for free. Now, once you find a spot that looks good to you or it's in your area, if you scroll down, there's usually a little review, a description, tells you a lot of things you need to know about the spot. Now, it's very important to read some of these. Some of them will give you information that will make you either turn around or continue going. This app is no longer free, which is annoying. But I found a workaround, and you go to your downloaded places, you go to my places, and right now I have South Carolina chosen because that's where I was. So I'm just going to delete that. Yes. Back to places, North America, United States. And then here you can clearly choose whichever state you're traveling in. I'm in Texas. Let's go to Texas and download that real quick. Okie dokie. And then once that is downloaded, you can go back and then go back to Explore. And as you can see there, it is populated with all sorts of things. I want to show you what they look like. Here we go. Established campground is the ones with just the little tent. Informal campsite with little building. That's a unadvertised camp spot associated with another business or institution, restaurant, gas station. That's your Cracker Barrels, Planet Fitnesses. Sometimes there's some casinos are a really good spot you can go to. Just really a lot of 24-hour places work well. There's a wild camping. That's like if you're out west most of the time and there's public land. That's basically it. I've actually never seen the cow before, but that's cool. This is kind of normally what it looks like. You got a laundromat there, you got a dump spot there, and here's like the wild camping I was telling you about. Except this wild camping is clearly probably on a street outside Green Garage near South Fort Worth. Let's click in here. Uh-oh. Oh gosh. Clearly this is wild camping. It's on the street. We parked our truck camper for a night in the spot just outside the garage under the free P signs. No signage about no overnight camping. The garage was well lit. Most of the streets around Magnolia are always free. It was a Sunday, and all outside spots and garage were completely empty. Cop drove by and through the garage, but didn't stop or say anything. Great bars, restaurants around the corner. We loved free play, and you could 10. So there you go. You go in, you read the check-ins. Here's like the main description. These people are the ones who created this spot. That is definitely what you want to be doing. So, yep, when you're out east, it's the same deal. It's just, you gotta just poke around. And again, I'm going to hop over my Google map and it's just going to be so much better. But after a long while of using iOverlander, and if you've traveled long enough, you're eventually just going to figure out where you like to camp, and you're going to save that, and you're just going to just know what to do when you get back to Moab, when you get back to Flagstaff, Phoenix, Bend, Oregon, you name it. You will eventually have it memorized. Which brings me to my next app. Google Map real quick. It's going to be nuts. Look at all these dots. This is just like a tiny bit of it. Once you zoom in, it happens more. I'm going to start out west. All the blue dots are camp spots. All the greens are just places I should probably check out. All the little coffee mugs are what you assume they will be. Purple squares, Planet Fitness. I got my grocery stores. So yeah, like I said, all these blues are all camp spots. Here's Oregon. Here's Bend. Clearly, I spend a lot of time in Bend. The camp spots are out this way, majorly. So that's kind of the beauty of it. Like when I'm traveling back out here, I already know where I'm going to stay on the coast, up in the California area. A lot of camping, a lot of free camping out here. There's basically my network of places to sleep, eat, shower, do laundry, whatever. And I think there's a way to export it, and if you want it, you can pay me $20. It's like a cheat sheet to America of all the best places to camp, eat, sleep, and take a shower. And the last tip I have for the Google Map is read the reviews. There you go. 1 star. What was this? A week ago. Do not book. Stay in room 221. Extremely dirty room upon walking in. Light fixture hanging off the wall. Bathroom door would barely shut, and it seemed as if it would break. Shower faucet was falling off the wall with brown stain on the shower wall. The television remote did not work. There were blood stains on the sheets on one of the beds. And all of this for the price of $115 a night is ridiculous. Would absolutely never stay in a place this dirty again. The only semi-decent thing was the breakfast and the 2 nice receptionist women up front who were very nice. But these 2 apps will only get you about 90% there. It's easy peasy to travel out west. But after traveling on the East Coast for the last 2 years, that's a whole other beast. The East Coast has almost zero public land, basically dominated by private land and cities. And for the last 2 years, I've been traveling out there, and I'm going to tell you what I've learned. You give up and you move home. Just kidding. You don't do that. And when you are traveling around these states, whether it be the Eastern Seaboard, Florida, Texas, there's really not a lot of free options for you to camp unless you're going to do a Cracker Barrel, a Planet Fitness. Walmarts are actually starting to clamp down on overnight camping, so that's becoming kind of not an option. You have rest stops, you have gas stations, very certain gas stations like Love's, Pilots, Flying J's, but all these lend to extremely poor sleep because you're just kind of out in the world and it just doesn't feel safe. So next you're kind of left with campgrounds, state parks, or a hotel. Nowadays, campgrounds cost as much as a hotel with way less amenities. State parks are still holding their own, roughly $30 a night, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. But my go-to has absolutely been Hipcamp. You can, it's just like Airbnb, except for camping. You can just click in. I actually never clicked into any of this. Let me just click into stargazing, see what it does. Dark skies, 24 places. Grapeland, Texas, $23 a night. Okay, hold on. This is actually pretty dope. 5 reviews, 100%. 21 sites, RVs, tents, 95 acres. Staff verified. Heath is a star host. Private sites. Let's check out some photos. Nice little lake. Look at this beautiful woods. Nice horses and cows. Look at that little baby cow. He's so cute. Chickens. They have beautiful lake. Look at that backdrop. My God. This place looks incredible. Hold on. Where is... I don't even know where Grapeland, Texas is, but I might have to go visit it. RV, 10 sites for $23 a night. That's insane. No campfires. Pets allowed. Toilet, potable water. No electric hookup. No water hookup. So this is like, you know, this is rustic. And then we got electric. We got electric here with water hookup. No campfire still in the toilet for $32. Really great. That's an amazing price, actually. Here's a review from November 2025, not long ago. Camped, sorry, I'm dyslexic. Loved camping here. Was a ton of, the fuck? Loved camping here. Was a ton of places to pick from to set up camp, which was great. Loved seeing the cows every morning. Walk through camp. Beautiful. I would love that too. Savannah. Okay, it's not too far from Dallas. All right, so when I find a spot that I know is going to work for me, you go in, you just kind of pick a site. Sometimes you can negotiate with them, be like, "Hey, man, I picked site 9, but like I want this other site instead." Sometimes they'll hook you up. So you pick the site, gives you a description of what it's going to be like. It's got everything you need, and then you select the dates that you want. Whatever, save. Come on. Go to reserve. All right, so once you're in here, there's more up top, but I can't show you that because it has my phone number, and I don't want you calling me. You can find me on Instagram at Brian_Bear_Butler, and you can DM me there. Trip details, number, vehicles, whatever, tent, RV camper, protection. Never used it. And then here is where you put your stuff. I have mine saved, so I use this link thing. There's a little more above it with like email. Again, not showing you that, but you just do all your stuff here, some more stuff, and it gives you your grand total there. And then hit book now, and off you go. Well, that's cool. I learned something today. I can hit dark skies, and I can find a place that has dark skies. Hipcamp is awesome. I like it. So really, it's the first time you do this is kind of the hardest time. And then after that, again, you build the relationship with these people and just kind of, it becomes easier as the years go on. And then there are the days, the long hauls between states and jobs where you're just mentally fried from traveling. Traveling can really completely just take it out of you, and it hurts. And at that moment is when I get on to, let's do a quick one. Let me show you that like it's not hard to find somewhere that's like good and cheap. And by cheap, I mean affordable. I love how they give you the total as well. It's great. I'm always looking for these little green things, of course. They always get you with the colors. 8.6, great. I try my best to stick around 8s that are, if I can get an 8 at $80, killing it. Look at that, 8.4, 73. Let's go. All right, whatever. Nice beds. But yeah, for $73, I would absolutely positively stay there. Check this against Google Map. Courtesy stay in Mansfield. Let's give it a look. Okay, so this has 3.7 stars. But see, like that's what I mean. If you try to do it here, you would have been paying $110 when you can just go onto Expedia and get it for way, way cheaper. Let's see what the reviews have to say. Let's go with the newest. Great place. 2 months ago. 5 months ago. It's a good hotel and good service. 1 star. I'm staying here for work. There is no microwave in this room, no trash can anywhere, and no remote to the TV. Curtains don't go all the way down. You can see clearly into this room. The room is clean. Service is okay. That is hilarious. Everyone else is giving it some good ratings, though. Look at that. All right, we got another oneer here. The truth, I rented a room, and I swear it smells like urine or like a gas station bathroom. Wow. Good stars, good stars, good stars. See, really nothing yet that is like make me not want to be there. Worst experience of my life. Came in after a long trip, rented the room for one night, and as soon as I arrived, a man called the room demanding I leave immediately or else he will call the cops in the middle of the night. Wow. Something happened and you're not bringing it up, or someone bought the room for you and you're underage, which happens often. We usually don't have any problems. Next time, don't have other people buy your room. They're supposed to stay in a room. We don't allow people getting kids' rooms. Sorry. Whoa. See, like, again, not like it's not the place's fault. A lot of these reviews are just people being dumb. Now, there are a few outliers to camping somewhere, at least in my life. I work for the channel Tiny Home Tours. I travel the entire country filming tiny home tours. In some of these places, I can just stay at their place. Eventually, you make friends as well, and they're always more than welcome to have you stay at their place. And that's extremely fair, and you should do that. People back in the day of when van life was kicking off, they would shame people for doing that, and they're idiots. And then you have the infamous city stealth camping. I don't have a lot of experience doing that, so I can't really tell you a whole lot of things, but the obvious ones are lock your vehicle, window blinds, and try not to stick out like a sore thumb. Look for signs, make sure there's no overnight parking thing, and a lot of people sometimes break that rule and they get the knock, and you don't want that. I'll add in here, a lot of times when I am traveling around, I'm not really booking any of this days or weeks ahead. Most of the time I'm booking all this like the day of or the night before, which has approximately, I would say almost I would say almost like a 98, 99% success rate. Like it's amazing how easy it is nowadays to just kind of get what you want. There's a lot more probably to this that meets the eye. And I think a lot of that needs to just be personally experienced. But overall, I think if you're equipped with iOverlander, Google Map, Hipcamp, and some form of Expedia or Booking.com or whatever you use, I think you're going to be fine, especially if you travel far and wide. Like, you're going to be good. Or if you travel slower and you're an RV, I mean, I have friends that live at RV places and they pay a monthly rent there. It can be between $500 and $1,000 a month. You can just do that. So there's just a lot of ways to do this. And the way that I've been explaining it is for the people with speedy little vans like mine. Well, I hope you got something out of this. If you did, let me know. Trying to grow this channel a bit. So if you can hit that like button and I think there's a hype button now. I don't know.